What is the wrestling match of 2023? Myself and NXT are in the hot seat. We're going to give our top 5 matches of the year, starting at number 5, NXT. Thank you for joining. What is match number 5 for you?
For me, it's going to be the Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa versus the Usos from Money in the Bank. Just a complete wow factor in the match itself. The crowd is super hot, and the fact that Roman Reigns actually loses a match via pinfall as well is a shocker in itself. So for number 5, that's that one for me.
Fantastic match choice, like you say. A great story between these guys. The Bloodline Civil War was definitely a consideration for me, but didn't quite make the cut. But certainly a headline nonetheless of Roman eating the pinfall. Number 5 for me makes headlines of its own. It was the main event match of Wembley Stadium, All In AEW. Adam Cole against MJF, the two best friends going at it. Would someone turn? Would they not? Well, they both were knocked out with a double clothesline, which almost upset everybody in Wembley Stadium and at home. But of course, it was in Wembley. According to MJF, we needed to get a winner. 5 more minutes, and of course MJF would pick up the victory. For me, it's more history as well as the fact of match quality. For me, it was just a fun time, and I got to experience it live as well, so that's the reason it's number 5.
No, it's a great match. I do love it. It is on my list, but I rate it's probably slightly a bit higher than what you did, apparently.
There you go. What's your number 4?
Number 4 is Ospreay versus Omega from Forbidden Door. Just an absolute killer of a 5-star match from young Will Ospreay. The finish in itself is, do you know what I mean, just an absolute crazy one, man. So yeah, for me, Will Ospreay just knocking it out of the park. It'd be rude not to include him somewhere on a top 5 list for match of the year.
He has 5-star matches for fun. Spoiler alert, you will see it was Will Ospreay's name from my lips during this stream. But for number 4 for me, I'm going to WrestleMania, that triple threat match between Gunther, Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. Because, well, talk about hard hitting. It was literally from start to finish. This was, meat slapping meat all the way through. And let's be fair, Gunther doesn't have a bad match at any point. Sheamus trying to win that IC title to complete the Grand Slam didn't quite happen. Drew kind of almost betraying his best friend, and of course, well, we know Drew's now gone on to that heel run later. It's been teased for quite a while. For me, I thought it was an awesome triple threat match, this one, and it was a 5-star classic at WrestleMania. What more can you ask for? Number 4 is the IC triple threat.
It is a great match. Unfortunately, it's not on my list because for me, I still cannot get over Clash at the Castle between Gunther and Sheamus. For me, I just feel I'd like that. Just will always be my go-to Gunther match at the minute. Is that one? But otherwise, it is a great shout.
Absolutely. What is your number 3?
For me, it is from a Backlash this year. It is Damian Priest versus Bad Bunny in a San Juan street fight. Just, dude, the crowd alone sells this match because when Bad Bunny enters and the crowd just feels like a gig, and from word go, it's non-stop craziness. Bad Bunny just puts on a great display for someone who's not a wrestler. There's loads of interference. We get the returns of Carlito, and it's just an amazingly fun, entertaining match, man. Just absolutely love it.
I absolutely love that match. It's a great choice. It's just missed the cut for me, but it's a real old school attitude era, naughty's roots of aggression feel, kind of like your street fights, your last man standing feels about it. I absolutely loved that match. It's a fantastic selection. My 3rd position for match of the year for me is going to go for the Texas Death Match at Full Gear between Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland. I mean, these two took violence to another level. It felt like watching ECW all over again. The fact that Hangman was drinking the blood coming out of Swerve Strickland was just made me wince. It was disgusting, but it was violent, let's be fair. But it was what a Texas Death Match should be. These two just take it to another level. The story, the atmosphere, the energy of the crowd had everything going for it. And the thing is as well, Swerve Strickland picking up the victory at the end of it, for me, it felt like a new star was built on that match there. Swerve Strickland is on the map and he's ready to go towards the main event scene. It's one of those matches you could go back to in like 10 years from now and say, that was the moment. And it's amazing when you see that for wrestlers in this modern day and age. So for me, it has to be a match of the year contender. The only reason it's not top spot, I'm a bit of a hypocrite. I don't like cinder block spots. I can't stand them, and there's a couple of them in this match.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It is a fantastic match. It just doesn't make my top 5 for me. Like you said, it is Swerve Strickland's defining moment in AEW and being the point where he now becomes a top guy. But unfortunately, it doesn't make the top 5 for me. But it's a fantastic match.
Absolutely. What is your runner-up spot then for match of the year?
Main event, All In, Wembley, MJF versus Adam Cole. The storyline, the friendship. They're ROH Tag Team Champions. They're now fighting each other for the world title. The will he, won't he turn on him? Will they betray each other, won't they? And just how that match ends and in that stadium, in that crowd. And I was there. So, yes, it's slightly biased, but my God, what a fantastic main event. Absolutely loved it. And, like, do you know what I mean? Would love to relive that all over again.
It was beautiful. It was a great storyline. I've already mentioned it in this stream, as you know. And of course, yeah, all it was a kangaroo kick, but thankfully we got that on the buy-in. Fantastic stuff all around from these guys here. But for me, for that runner-up spot is a match you've mentioned in the stream already. Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega from Forbidden Door. Outstanding, great wrestling from these two guys. The fact as well that Will Ospreay, obviously in Canada, hating Canada, taking the Canadian flag as well, was a fun little spot. The only thing that really took away for this match for him was Don Callis. I know the fact that it made sense for Don to get involved, but once he'd been ejected from ringside, the fact he could just walk back down is kind of the reason why this doesn't make the #1 spot. But for me, this match is breathtaking, incredible, and it's the dream match that I've wanted to see for a long time, with this form of Will Ospreay versus this form of Kenny Omega. So for me, yeah, definitely it lived up to the hype and more for me. Forbidden Door, Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega.
No, yeah, it is just like you said. It's just one of them fantastic matches, and like we've said before, Will Ospreay just has 5-star matches for fun. So again, I'm glad that you also picked him for a match in your top 5.
Absolutely, but will it be just one? That's the big question. What is your #1 position and match of the year for 2023?
My #1 does not include a certain Will Ospreay. My #1 shock is Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania Night 1. An absolute killer of a match. Two women who put themselves through an absolute barn burner, who unjustly would take not the main event because of obviously the Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, but they put on a hell of a show and proved that they should have been in a main event match. Because for me, just as I said, the biggest shock factor was such an amazing match, and just going to show some love to the women, man, because it was just such an unreal, fantastic match.
It was an incredible match between those two. I mean, literally was to a point where you just saw some really brutal looking spots from both, and it was like, oh God, that hurt. That looked like it really hurt, and incredible stuff. And obviously, like you say, crowning moment for Rhea Ripley to finally put Charlotte Flair away, to be the dominant female that she's been the entire year as well. Yeah, really well done that match there. Doesn't make my top 5, but I tell you what, very, very close to doing so, but a very worthy #1 pick for myself there, NXT. But my #1, well, look, it's going to be two men I've mentioned already. Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega. Wrestle Kingdom at the very start of the year. Let's be fair, this is the match that, again, hard-hitting, great wrestling from these two, and it's the match that doesn't involve Don Callis, which is the reason why it's hit the #1 spot for me. And the fact that Will Ospreay, after losing that United States Championship, just reaching out, wanting to have it, the fact he's lost it from Kenny Omega, you knew that revenge was going to come, you knew a rematch was coming, and I can't wait. They're going to do this one more time, I'm sure, at some point down the line, hopefully when Kenny Omega gets better. We wish him a very speedy recovery. But yeah, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay for me. Wrestle Kingdom has to take the match of the year. To be honest, really, Will Ospreay matches, I've mentioned them in other videos. There were some incredible ones with Zack Sabre Jr., Speedball Mike Bailey. Honestly, the list goes on and on. He could have had a top 5 on his own for me. But any final words before we wrap up the video?
No, man, just like I said, it's always fun to hear other people's top 5 matches of the year. And like I said, I think most people will probably be shocked by the fact that I've picked Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. But hey, man, like I said, it's the biggest match that surprised me the most this year. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, it's just one of the things that absolutely took me away. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was, and that was why it was my #1 for me. But otherwise, two lists of 5 solid matches each is.
Absolutely, and to be fair, I love your choice of matches, and I've got to say, hope that everyone else will get involved with their choice of matches in the comments below. What do you think was match of the year for 2023? We're fascinated to know what you think. Let us know if you've enjoyed the video. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you for the next video. Check out the other ones that are already available on the channel with the best of 2023. Thanks for watching. We'll see you for the next video.